Hey, everybody, it's Dolly and Anita with the DNA Authority. We'll see you in 10 seconds. Hi, Mama.
Hi. I was trying to type the word live, but my fat finger said love. But that's not a bad thing. I just kind of giggled. I'm like, love, life.
It's funny because mine always changes love to live.
I changed live to love, baby. Ow!
Sure did. You sure did. Well, I am excited. We are live at the DNA Authority. I am Dolly Cortez.
And I'm Anita Myers. And today we are going to talk about the power of music. Music. I can't hear you. But we're going to see you in a moment.
Yes. Okay. So, right back. Anita Myers Towers, how are you today?
I'm good. How are you, Dolly Cortez?
I'm doing fantastico. What's with the accent, Dolly Cortez?
Cortez. Because once upon a time I took Spanish, and it was from. This is embarrassing. It's actually very embarrassing. I took Spanish from 4th grade, I want to say, or 3rd grade.
Okay.
Through high school, and I never got that conversational Spanish going. I'm still like, me llamo es Paco, and I probably didn't even say that. It's horrible.
It's Paco? That's awesome.
If I take time, I'll be like, oh, okay, I think I know what they're saying. But I'm horrible at that. I need to work on that. What I do know is the language of English.
The language of English. I'm like, Spanish is for me the love language.
Yeah. Yes, it is. Yes, it is. That is true. There, they say that French is also, when I hear it, it makes me, I don't even know what they're saying. They could probably say really terrible things to me, and I'd be like, oh, I think he likes me. This is great.
Oh, I think you're probably right. So, Anita, I have to tell you something.
Yes.
I am in love. Oh, I am in love with this beautiful and amazing, gorgeous book. And everyone and anyone that has seen us today or listening to us today, this is Anita's newest book, Hearts Do Matter, which is a tribute to the love that a daughter and a mother shared, and is so absolutely beautiful and stunning and beautifully illustrated by Yuri Borgen. And I am in love with this book. And you also have, and I have to brag about you because you're amazing. So Anita also put together a collection. It's Hugs. How do you say it?
Hugs for Hearts collection.
Hugs for Hearts collection. See, I have like the tongue thing happening.
If you said it in Spanish, I'm sure it'll sound beautiful.
Abrazos de corazones. Mira para allá.
There you go. See? So easy. But thank you. Thank you so much. Listen, I feel so terrible that the book had been published, and the way things operate, we normally have a launch, we normally have get-togethers, celebrations, and things like that are at a halt right now. So my wonderful publisher didn't get to have the final book yet, and I had just visited her a couple days ago, and I brought the bundle over to her. I called it Hugs for Hearts collection because yes, there is the book, there is the journal, and and you can purchase them separately on Amazon right now. But I created this little collection for a limited time only because
Oh,
it's the holidays. Oh, and it does have this adorable
the
little
collection brings a bookmark. The
yes.
collection brings a bookmark, and it's absolutely stunning. Yes, even the little bookmark was designed by us, by Rose Gold, and I just absolutely love it. But I love the little touch of the little heart that says "Made with love."
There's a little
You know,
charm in there.
Anita, this is beautiful, and I'm not saying it just because. I really do mean it from the bottom of my heart. In fact, one of my dearest friends, who I gifted this to, sent a message how touched she was to receive this, since she recently experienced loss in her life.
And, well, what I did in this specific circumstance was I thought for the holidays, a lot of people are suffering loss. And people have suffered loss before we've ever had quarantine. I've suffered loss before quarantine. My mom passed in 2005, my father in 2015. I still carry some things in my heart of loss. And when you grieve, the grief doesn't always go away. It stays. It comes in, like there's a saying about how grief is like glitter. There's little remnants that still stays with you over the years. And there's moments that you cry. There's moments that you feel sad and depressed. And so I thought about everybody this year, the way everything's been going on. And because I put this book together, I suddenly started realizing, wait a minute, I did this for me as a tribute to my mother. But there are people out there that have lost, so and they suffer too. And what if they could shift from grief to gratitude? What if they can go from loss to love? And that's what I've tried to do for myself. So I put together this idea. We have the books that are on Amazon, as I mentioned earlier, but I thought for a limited time only, for the sake of the holidays, what if you just sent a hug to somebody? And so I was talking with my one girlfriend who is also someone who is, one of our special quarterly guests, Annette Lecitra. I give her big props for this. I had talked to her and she had said, it seems like what you have together is just one big hug. And when she said that, I said, I do. That's a hug. I need to send hugs to people. So I autographed both of the books, the journal and the book, and the little bookmark that comes with it with a little charm that says "Made with Love." And I put in this little cute purple gift bag.
Yeah.
And you send the whole package to someone that you love. And you just tell me where you want to send it to. I'm still doing it right now. Again, limited time only. It's for $40. And all you do is tell me who you want to send it to. Dolly did it, and a few others have also done it. Tell me who you want to send it to. I write a little note to them, and I send it directly over to them. And I think it's a wonderful way to just send a hug. Sometimes you don't know what to give anybody, and they're going through something like that. Maybe a little hug would matter.
This honestly, this is absolutely precious. It is beautiful. It is kind. We talk about kindness all the time, but this is just amazing, and I'm really grateful for you to do this.
And I thank you for helping me put that together. Rose Gold Publishing.
Wow,
That's who did it. That's who did it. I don't know which way it's going to show on the is that you right there?
Well, you know what? To be honest with you, I just showed it to my husband yesterday. And he was like, "Oh my God, you did this?" And I'm like, "Well, yeah." And I'm like, "Anita wrote it, and then we had an illustrator, and then I did everything else."
Yeah, I can't wait to get Yuri on here. She's agreed to come on to the show in the near future.
Yes.
And so we'll talk about the power of illustration, because there is a power in it. And I think it'll be a great show for sure to talk about, what makes something go from here's information to here's information. She just totally took my heart and went there in total illumination. So I was very happy with it. Thank you so much, Dolly, for bringing that up. And I'm really glad. I am really actually sincerely glad that you finally got that so you could see it all, including the journal, because I know that that's something that's missing. People will read the book. And if you don't have access to the journal, you should. The journal is definitely also available on Amazon, but this is a guided journal. It's not just a bunch of blank pages.
Right.
Prompts and information exercises in there so that you can actually go from grieving to gratitude rather.
Well, I'm going to share my favorite pages. I've said this to you since the very beginning when we started working on it, but this is my favorite pages. These right here. These two right here. And it's just so beautiful. I'm trying to get in the center. It's
That's
so beautiful.
That's me. Like, that's me. That's me and my mom in the kitchen in Morton Grove, Illinois. That's my house in there. That's the kitchen. And
Yeah.
that is my wackadoo self dancing around with my mom laughing. That's so us.
Yeah,
And
I
working together. That's us. So that
I'm
was,
very excited.
it was
Hey,
hard to, it was hard to see those pictures. They were so accurate that it had me emotional every page. So it was
it's
really nice.
beautiful, and this is going to be a book that's going to be touching a lot of hearts. And
Yeah. Yeah. But today,
yes,
we're talking about the power of music.
yeah.
And I can't tell you how excited I am. I showed up in the show with my glasses on because I wanted to read something to you all, because there's some posts that I actually have been putting on Facebook, on social media. I use Facebook. And so I posted in a couple places, but what it was all saying to me was so funny, because we already had planned that this was going to be about the power of music.
Yeah.
But today I just happened to see, I happened to see certain posts, videos of one that was Randy Travis. If you didn't get a chance to take a look at it, I'll post it. Maybe I did already post it in I did. I posted it in the DnA Authorities page. That was the one. Randy Travis had gotten into, I don't know if you know who he is. He's a country singer. He sang Forever and Ever, Amen. Beautiful song. I think I want to say back in the 80s. It was a beautiful song that touched my heart. I still love it. I've loved it so much. One of my favorite songs that really hits my heartstrings. And I had learned, through this video, you learn that he had suffered a massive stroke. He went through such awful debilitation. He was, and in short, music had slowly brought his voice back. And it was really a beautiful thing. Another post that I posted in my my Powerline Live group, that's a emotional intelligence group that I have on Facebook. I posted a son who's visiting his mother who suffers from Alzheimer's, and
Oh, I saw that.
yeah,
That was really
and he just kept singing. He would sing a song like, it would be like this. If you saw her, how she was, really involved, really heavily into Alzheimer's, suffering from Alzheimer's. But once he comes together with her and sings a song that they've been singing since he was a child, and she's got the guitar, she lights up and she sings and she plays, and they sang this song together. And it really, really touched my heart, because obviously I lost my mom to Alzheimer's, but there was one thing I knew about my mom and anyone else that suffers from dementia, Alzheimer's. It just seems as though a lot of conditions, even, music connects you back to the rest of standard humanity, if not more. People who have conditions where they have stuttering issues, other types of situations that are all, brain activity. Somehow music doesn't get to be a part of that. It's grandfathered out. It's just something that does its own thing. So I wanted to read a couple things here before we get our guest on board, because our guest is all about rock and roll and music, and we love him. So two things I wanted to share.
Before you do
Oh, yeah, sure. Go ahead.
a quick break, and we'll be right back, everyone. Every time I see it, it just makes me want to go.
That's great. I'm glad. That's what I wanted. I hope for that. So that's good. That's good. All right. So I'll read a couple of little bits that I got off of the internet that talk about the power of music. Music is a language of emotion, in that it can represent different feelings and barge into the soul with no boundaries or limitations. People are always challenged by the fact that no one understands them or know how they really feel, so they turn to music. Music also has the capacity to imitate emotions. And the second thing I'll share is a brain-related thing that comes from Psychology Today. And it says, here we go. Synchronizing movements to music. As human beings, we have the capacity and inclination to synchronize our body movement to external rhythmic stimuli, such as music. Rhythm can have a powerful effect on movement because the auditory system has a rich connection to the motor systems in the brain. And with all that being said, the definitions all really much share this: no matter what's going on in your life, you need to connect yourself to music. Music makes the world go round, the world outside go round, and the world in here go round. So I hope that more and more people get engaged. I know I do. I got a thing for music.
Well, let's get the man of the hour in here, woman.
All right, let's get him. It's Stuart Jacobson. Come on down.
Hello, ladies. What an intro. What an intro. I am so excited to be back. But before we begin, can I just do 20 seconds? We're talking about several things, and a song, one of the original tunes that I wrote for my granddaughter when she was 3 years old, to love and the importance of music. And I just would like to do one verse. The bummer is, no matter how hard we try to be a peaceful world, we never will be. But that's all right. We have to live with that, but we can do the best we can to make other people laugh. All it takes is a smile, a funny face, a sweetheart, and a kiss a day. Say I love you to the ones you love, and a friendly hello to all the other ones. And it'll spread all the way from Earth to outer space, from one soul to another soul, to the chill in your nose, and when you sing rock and roll. Ow! And when you sing rock and roll. I just thought it would just fit in.
It does, Stuart. Oh my gosh, I love that. This is the thing. When you meet anyone who's a musician, they just go right to whatever they do. They it's so great. If I meet someone who knows how to play piano, now my daughter's involved. If I say something, she's like, hold on a minute, I got something for that. A singer, I got something for that. And it's just it's so delicious. I love it. I love it.
You know, it's all about happiness. Music is happiness. When you get off of an airplane and you're flying into the Caribbean islands, Jamaica, wherever, Europe, the first thing you're greeted by booze and musicians. Okay? And the musicians, no matter what type of music it is, just you're on vacation. And when you're on vacation, it just is all about happiness. You forget about all the adversity that's going on in your life.
You just let go. You're totally right. The moment I think about this when you walk into certain amusement parks, or you go into these, Disney World, or wherever you go, or, you get to Jamaica, the moment you enter and that music hits, the steel drums, like you just automatically imagine that drink in your hand. It just equates and exudes amazing, relaxing, awesome, cool, fun, all the really good feelings that I think our spirit craves so much, so much.
Right.
So, if you can't get out there, I know I said this to my husband, let's just increase the temperature in the house in the wintertime to like 90 and like have a drink and put the music on. Like, we're just going to try to make it seem like we're in Hawaii. We're going to try to make it seem like we're out there.
Exactly.
I need that guy to come over.
You're always and that Randy Travis song, by the way, he's got the most beautiful voice, and he's gone through a lot of adversity in his life. And it was written by, I think, Paul Overstreet or somebody, one of the Nashville songwriters. Yeah. And one of the things about music is not just so much the artist that sings the music, but who wrote the song, okay? Right. And who wrote the song, because there's always a history. And when I travel around prior to COVID and I was playing around the country, wherever, I would always Google or Wikipedia which famous person lived in that town as far as music, because I always wanted to feel the vibe, the person that wrote that song, sang that song, played on that song. And I wanted to stand in front of their house and kind of understand the vibe, or going to New York and seeing where Bob Dylan lived and walk up the steps of his apartment building and just take a moment to think about what was going through his mind in 1961 when he was writing these tunes.
That's so
and it's really important because, you know, one of the I think one of the finest songs ever written back in the 60s was by Leslie Gore, "You Don't Own Me."
Oh, I love that.
"You Don't Own Me," which is and it was written by a guy. And when he presented that to the record company, he was a songwriter just writing a lot of tunes. And they said, "Well, we haven't seen anything yet that we really like. Do you have anything else?" He said, "Well, I just co-wrote a song," and he played it on the guitar, and "You Don't Own Me." And they fell backwards. They said, "Wow, this song connects." And so when you understand the story behind the songs, it's so important. It enhances your love of the music.
You know what, Stuart? You just said something that, once again, it blew my mind, because this is just what we don't know. You know, I'm going to give you something that's relatable to that. It's not music related, but it still is relatable in terms of, I had no idea, that kind of feeling.
Yeah.
You know, we all believe in society, when it comes to children who are born, if they're a female or a male, female is pink and male is blue. That's just what everyone would know all the years of my life growing up, until one day I realized, I had done some research and studied and found out that girls, the color for girls back in the day was blue, and the color for boys was pink. Period. And over time it changed. Somebody decided to make the change, which I don't know the name of it, but point is, you know, we think it's done this way, but when we look at the backstory, the truth is that it wasn't. And in your case, when you just said that, now a song like "You Don't Own Me," if you don't know that song, you need to go and listen to it, especially those people who are scorned and want to get their power back. You listen to that good. And the thing is when you hear it, it's sung by a woman. So you naturally take on all those elements of she is speaking. But you just told me that it was also written by a man.
For a man, by the way.
For a man. See, like, I just didn't know that, and that just happened.
Right.
That's so great. That says so much.
Right. But when Leslie Gore recorded that, okay, and when the producer heard that, and he said, "I know the perfect person," she was 17 years old at the time, with this beautiful voice. She just came off of a hit, I think, "It's My Party," and it went gold. And it's one of the most powerful, simple 2.5-minute songs that you can, you know, if you don't engage in that song as a guy or a woman, emotionally.
Why don't you sing it for us?
What's that?
Why don't you sing it for us?
Oh, I know that. You know, I used to do it with my I used to do it, but it's a wonderful. Joan Jett does a great version of it, by the way, also.
Yeah, Joan, you know, and that's one of the things that's hard for me is and I really want to try to embrace when new artists sing other artists' songs. I get that way with movies too. When new movies come out that are the same, like, you know, no disrespect, people, but, you know, when Karate Kid came out with Will Smith's son, I didn't want to watch it. I just wanted the Ralph Macchio Karate Kid. That is the only one I wanted. I don't want to see, like, I loved it for what it was, and I wasn't open to hearing a new story of that with the same title. So, and that's another story. But when it comes down to music, we all end up loving the song that we hear of today's time because we hear it on the radio for the first time. We think it's so great. And then our parents or our friends' parents, they'll say, "Oh no, that was like the fourth version. The first one was," and I'm like, "Oh my gosh, I had no idea." And I feel kind of like,
but you know what? Isn't it fun though? Sometimes listening to the different versions of them, because I enjoy that.
Well, the interpretation, everybody interprets it differently, so they sing it differently. And that's what's so wonderful about so many songs. You take Brand New Key by I rode my bicycle down this, and you hear, the latest version, and all you have to do is YouTube it. And you'll hear different, and it's such a wonderful song. Simple, such a simple song, but lyrically so powerful.
It is. And, Stuart, I want to ask you a question. I mean, we're sitting here talking to you, and you're just such a rock and roll dude, and I just love you. I just absolutely love you.
Oh.
I love your spirit and who you are and what you do with the music that you have, because you could have chosen any path. You really could have chosen any path. But do you mind, for the sake of anyone who's just coming on for the first time, they're like, who is this sunglass wearing dude talking to these ladies? Can you share with us or them a little bit about, what got you involved with music, who you are, and what you do out there?
I'm glad you asked, because I picked up a guitar at 11, 12 years old. Severely ADD as a child. I couldn't learn other people's songs because I had no patience to learn the lyrics. So I just started writing songs and developing my own style of positivity and everything like that. But when I was 19 years old, now I'm much older than you ladies, okay, there was a company in Chicago called Triangle Productions, which was equivalent to like the big promoters today that bring in all the bands. But they were all localized, although Triangle was out of New York.
Yeah.
And my cousin, through marriage, was the executive VP. So he calls me one day and he says, and they were bringing in, and at that time, that was the advent of rock and roll. It was the late 60s. Nobody, they were making an impact, but nothing really, you didn't think that this was going to go on for the next 40, 50 years. He said, there's a band coming into town, Carlos Santana, can you pick them up at the airport? And just whatever they need, just get it for them. And for the next 2 years, I was working with all these different rock bands, and that was the advent of rock and roll. So I was in the rooms with Led Zeppelin, when they threw a couch down on Madison Avenue, dinner with Sonny and Cher, and all these, the Jackson 5, and myself and Kevin Cronin, who later became the lead singer and songwriter for REO Speedwagon, he too was a gopher. And we would get $100 to spend the day with these rock stars. And at that time, it was a lot of money. Wow. So I just fell in love more. And once again, because I was severely ADD and I was going through college and I knew I couldn't hold a 9-to-5 job, that's how I knew whether I made money or didn't make money, this was the direction I was going to go into.
That is awesome.
Yeah, it was a pretty, one day, a guy knocks on the back. At this time, nobody knew a lot of these people. At the Erie Crown Theater in Chicago, a guy comes in, he's the opening act, and never heard of the guy. Most people didn't at that time. And he says, hey, I'm the opening act. And he says, is there anywhere I can get some food before, I go on stage? I said, you know what, I'm walking over to the cafe. Come on with me. And I sit down with this guy, and we start talking. And we go back, he opens up the show, and all of a sudden he sings this song called Dr. My Eyes. And I went, wow, that's a great tune. One day that's going to be a hit. And it was Jackson Browne. So it was amazing, the people, but at that time, nobody really knew. Otherwise, I would have had autographs and I would have pictures taken with them. Right. But it was a pretty interesting time. That was really the beginning of it.
No, I get what you mean. And I wasn't someone who was a singer, but in my world, when I was in the at the health club, I used to work as a trainer out there, and I used to work at the reservation, all sorts of things at the gym. And the people that would go by, the people that used to work in the company as trainers, there was one gentleman there that he was just one of the trainers, and we would sit and talk. And he was someone that I remember he had heard that I was going to go and do a photo shoot because I needed to get certain layouts for this upcoming thing I wanted to do with this agent. And so he said he'd like to come along with me so he could do a photo shoot because he really wants to take himself over to LA and he wants to become an actor there. Well, I did too, but I just didn't get to follow that path at the time. And he was going to do it. So he came with me. We did a photo shoot together. He allowed me to do what I needed to do. He did what he needed to do. And then that was it. And he ended up becoming someone that was in a show that's called 6 Feet Under. And his name was Matthew St. Patrick. He was known as something different when I knew him, but his name is Matthew St. Patrick. And he was a really big deal. And the thing is when you're spending your time meeting people on that level one where we're just knowing one another. We always want to become something. We don't know. We don't know where anyone's going to go. We don't know where anyone's going to be. But I know one thing's for sure, that when you have these experiences, it's so great to be able to see where we all end up in life. And, none of us know how it's going to turn out, but I think your story really resonated with me, because there are several people that I knew in the early walks of that life, and the ones that went for it 100%, they're doing something great. And look at look what happened with you too.
And you got to make and you are the one that has to make it happen.
Right.
You have to go out of your way to make it happen.
You got to get so uncomfortable to make it happen.
Right.
Yeah.
Because you don't want to look back and regret, why didn't I do this?
Right.
And that's what happiness is all about. And, we talked about this before, that you don't measure success by the square footage of your house. You measure success by the square footage of your heart. And success is about character, okay? And the only way you're going to enhance yourself is to assimilating yourself in so many different situations where you can easily adjust yourself to anybody. So you're not that person that, I can't relate to this person, or I can't assimilate with this person.
Right. That's what's so great about your personality. And I mean that genuinely, because I do meet so many different types of personalities in life over all the years I can remember. And, no matter what age anybody is, that personality, that heart speaks so true. And you can see that there's a lot of folks out there in the big scheme of things. I would probably say that there's 95 to 98% of the people that I meet hold limitations very easily. And the moment that happens, and you see it now online in a heartbeat, the moment that happens, that you cannot allow someone to feel what they feel, or you cannot allow someone to go in the direction they want to go in, that doesn't really cause harm. That doesn't really threaten your life. It's just an opinion. But the limitations are brought up so strong that you end up segregating yourself from lots of people. And someone like you are just the chameleon of everyone's world. Like, you can just understand it. And even if you didn't understand it, you would try, and you would still love them anyway. And I think that's so precious. I just appreciate that so much.
Can I add something here? Stuart, I met you last year for the first time when we came to our show. It's almost a year since we've seen you. And a lot has been taking place in 2020.
A lot.
Yeah.
A lot.
Yeah. That's an understatement, right?
Right. Right.
How are you coping? How are you still being, are you doing everything through Zoom now? What are you doing? How are you doing different
In one day, in March, I had 37 bookings for the summer, and in one day, 37 cancellations, totally from a busy summer to absolutely nothing. But, we have to remember, every day is still a beautiful day.
It is.
Okay? You have to remember, because we all are going to go through life with all kind of adversity, as we just talked about. But you have to remind yourself the importance of rolling out of bed and finding the bright side of the sun and say, today's going to be a beautiful day. If you don't say it, it's not going to be a beautiful day.
Right.
Or
it's all about the intention, right? It's the intention.
It's the intent, and it's so easy. It's so easy. Just like in that song, which, say to people, how you feel. Just say, it's a beautiful day. So when you go to Starbucks and they don't want to look at you in the face, they say, good morning. It's a beautiful day.
Right.
And you spread that message to people and you hear it back. And I have this song. I'm going to give you a verse. Okay, you guys, okay? And it's kind of like my mantra. And every is a beautiful day. Every day is a beautiful day. From the time I wake up to the time I go to sleep. Every day is a beautiful day. Every flower and every tree and every fish in every sea and every star that shines on me, and every miracle makes me believe every day. And you just got to constantly remind yourself that every day is a beautiful day, no matter what happens in your life.
I see
and it's
Anita dancing.
I want to keep going. I want to keep going.
Every day is a beautiful day.
I love it.
Every day is a beautiful day. From the time I wake up to the time I go to sleep, every day is a beautiful day. You know, and it goes on and on and on. And by the way, you know, I just set up a new on the Rumble, which is kind of equivalent to YouTube. You can go rumble.com/The Stu Show. And I've just recently been posting a bunch of tunes up there.
Oh, yeah.
Great.
And so
rumble.com/The
Stu Show.
The Stu Show.
Okay, hold on. I'm going to write this down. Rumble.com/This Dude Show.
The Stu Show.
No, not this
That
dude.
dude.
It is this dude. It's not. It's the Stu Show. STU.
Oh.
This Dude Show is.
And I'm kind of mixing up, you know, songs from when I was doing, you know, children, you know, because I wanted to spread that message to kids. So you know, several years ago, about 6 years ago, I started a show called The Stu Show, Be Kind, Be Positive, and Read, because that's where it starts with our kids.
That's right.
And the parents, it's so important for them to spread that positiveness. And if
That
they
is
don't,
the area that I think is, you know, we all talk about Whitney Houston's song, you know, about the children being our future, teach them well and let them lead the way. We need to do that a whole lot more, because I think it's not just for select, it's not just for these, it's not just for a few, and it shouldn't be done, you know, in the confines of homes here and there sporadically. This has to be a huge movement where, you know, I am an emotional intelligence freak with this stuff. It has to be something that is going to incorporate emotional intelligence towards the children. If they don't learn that, how do they act it? How do they know it? They learn everything through cause and effect. And one of those things, you know, when you said what you said, you create these songs, and just like we just talked about in the beginning of the show with the little definitions that were out there, scientifically speaking, you know, you can learn. I actually did this with my daughter, where if I asked her to remember ingredients to, we were in the kitchen. I said, I want you to remember the ingredients to this. I want you to go to the kitchen and I want you to get these ingredients. I'm going to give you the list of ingredients. And she looked at me like I was crazy. Like, how is she going to remember all these ingredients? Okay. And when I said, I said it to her in a rhythm. I said it to her in a beat. So I'm going to teach you this, because we were having a little bit of music class. And I wanted to teach her the ingredients in a rhythm form. I said, I'm going to teach this to you in a rhythm form. I want you to listen to it and repeat after me in the rhythm. And then she did it. And as she was doing it, I was snapping along with whatever that rhythm was. And then I said, I want you to go to the kitchen and now tell me if you can remember. And she got all of those ingredients out without a worry in the world, because rhythm, music, all of that, it really does make a difference. And when you do teach your children, especially with what you're doing, when you're giving them a song to sing, you know, we think about people that when they suffer, when things are hard, when things are really tough. And we got a lot of that this year, a whole lot of that. And I think about women and men who go to church and they sing those songs in church, and suddenly they get tired of it for a while, but then eventually they're cleaning the house, they're dealing with things, and then they kind of reach for that song. They reach for this song because it hits your spirit. When we are in situations that are maybe not church, but I know as a teenager, and I still do this now, but as when you get into your tweens and teens, and things don't go your way, you have a crush on someone and the crush doesn't work out, man, those songs suddenly are illuminated on that radio. You want to record it. You want to look at the lyrics. You want to remember the lyrics. You're going to sing it to everybody. You're going to cry as you sing it. You can really connect to it.
It's so important. And you know, and you learn. I mean, I have a song. Well, I'll tell you, it's almost like this was set up, but I have a song. I like to know things. So when I watch news and they go, you know, the man on the street, they'll go, you know, they'll ask, crazy questions. They want to like gotcha. And one of the things they ask people is, how many states are there in the United States? You can line up 6 people and everyone's going to have a different answer. And how many stars on the American flag? So I wrote this tune, and I'll just give you one verse of it. It's called I Like to Know Things. There are 50 states in the United States, 50 stars on the American flag, 13 stripes for 13 colonies and over 5,000 Cheerios in a 15-ounce box. I like to know things. I like to know things. A normal mouth has 32 teeth, and by the time you're an adult, you have 206 bones. The giraffe can clean its ears with its 21-inch tongue, and the Mona Lisa has no eyebrows. I like to know things. And the whole song is just things
oh my gosh.
that you can, that you can incorporate in a conversation. But the bottom, and it ends like this. So it goes, people who laugh, people who care, people who love, people who share, make the world a better place. And that's something you should know. But throughout the song, you learn about there's 293 ways to make change for $1, and all these wonderful things that you can incorporate into a normal conversation with people, and they go, "Wow, you must be pretty smart. How do you know that?"
Right. And it's like, first of all, that's a great song. And that's exactly right. When you can get a kid or anyone to remember the song, they suddenly know things. And if we could do a lot more with music, I remember hearing before about, the art part in school, art and music were the ones that were really suffering. And when I would hear about that, I always wondered, why in the world would art and music ever suffer? Because, education's always about the cerebral logic and everything else, but that music and that art are part of the emotion. And you need those things in order for us to really live an enriched life in the way I see it, the way I think studies are showing. So I want to ask you something,
Yep.
Stuart. We're about to head to Thanksgiving. I mean, we're like really about to head to it. It's almost here. And so much is going on, but I want to ask you, because I don't want to leave the show without making sure we all talk about this. What are you thankful for?
Boy, I'm thankful for so many things. It's like, who's your favorite musical artist? Who's the greatest guitar player of all time? And then, by the way, before behind me, my whole studio here is, great music, Willie Dixon, and all these wonderful songwriters who wrote songs, who from Chicago, by the way, who I had the opportunity to photograph 30 years ago while they were still alive. So I'm surrounded by, musical things that stimulate my brain. So when I write, so you need to surround. You can't walk into your home and have an empty house and of just 4 walls of white paint, right. Because to build, you need blocks, right? So when you walk into your house to build your own self, you need things around you that stimulate you. Right. And so whether it's a poster, whether it's whatever it is.
And what you put in is your inspirational things. You're putting things that are inspiring to you versus, there are people that put things up that really don't have a whole lot of value to them. And if they could improve on that, put things that are truly inspirational up. You just mentioned probably the most inspirational experiences you have on your wall.
Yeah.
Right. Every day. I mean, if you saw my office one day, maybe we'll broadcast the next show with me here in my office. But, my bobbing heads and my, just things that I've collected throughout the years. So now to go back to what I'm thankful for. Okay. Of course, my family, my wonderful wife, who I just celebrated 32 years with.
Oh,
I think it was 2 days
happy
ago.
Anniversary.
Thank you. my grandkids, my 3 grandkids, and you probably have seen them on,
Yes, I have beautiful children.
singing. My friends, the 2 of you. I just, if you look at everything as being beautiful, okay, every day's a beautiful day. So if you pick up a pen, okay, and you go, wow, this is a beautiful pen, you have to look at everything around you, not with any kind of negativeness, okay, not with selectiveness. Well, I like this, but I don't like that. And if you look at everything and you train your brain to do that, every day's a beautiful day. So it's like, for the, when people go, your sins, you're going to correct your sin. Well, if you think you're doing everything right, I mean, we all sin, we all do something that we probably should. But if you think at the time what you were doing was the right thing, you're not going to go look back and say, well, and defend what you did.
Right.
So if you look at everything as beautiful, the people you're with, and everything's beautiful.
Right. And it seems as though, the way you're saying it, it seems as though your intention is you want to take ownership, which you should. You want to take ownership of your life where your efforts are good efforts and your joys are yours. It's your emotions that you own. So when people influence you, and there's going to be people that try to influence you in a negative way, of course, you have every right to feel negative for the moment, but then you take claim back again to your life that I'm not going to let those negative influences bring the rest of my life down. I can still own happiness. I can still own joy. I can still own inspiration. So I understand what you mean when you're saying that, because when you let's say you wake up and the day's is not so great in terms of what your equation is, we'll change the equation so that you are still having a really beautiful day anyway.
Right. The greatest, since we're talking about music, I'll just mention the greatest lyric ever written. And we've talked about this before. Back in 1946, Johnny Mercer, you've got to accentuate the positive, eliminate the negative, latch onto the affirmative, and don't mess with Mr. In Between. If you could train your brain to do this every day, okay, you're going to have a great day. And nobody's going to upset you. Nobody's going to piss you off. Nobody's going to ruin your day, okay, because the strength. This is, we work out with our hands and the muscles and this and that. This is the muscle that you need to have the strongest, right up there.
You have the potion for emotional immunity, and that is happiness, my friend.
I love it.
And it's so much fun to be happy.
It is. It really is. Anytime that I see Stuart when we get together before quarantine, it's always a beautiful day. Even when it's nighttime, it's a beautiful night. It's a beautiful time.
Beautiful night. I love life. And by the way, I have the same adversities as everybody else. Yeah. I have the health issues. I have the this. I have the that. We all, there's nobody that escapes any of this. But it's how your attitude.
It's your choice.
Yeah,
absolutely. Absolutely.
Wow. Well, I wanted to ask you, Anita, what are you thankful for?
Oh, good Lord. We don't have enough time on the show. Okay. But I guess in a nutshell, I'll just say, if I could be thankful for anything, and this might sound a little selfish, but it's important to know this. I am so thankful that I'm alive. I'm thankful that I'm here and I have the emotions that I have because I get to enjoy them with you. I get to enjoy them with my friends. I get to love my family. I can get emotional. Just think about it. I'm very thankful for it.
Yeah.
Awesome. I'm gonna stop right there.
That's nice.
Awesome. Well, I'm happy.
And how about you, Dolly?
I am, oh my God, what am I not thankful for? Everything that surrounds me every single day, I am grateful for. Just even yesterday, Anita came over briefly, and I was just so excited to even show her my living room. I already decorated.
Yes, it was.
So I'm thankful for her doing this. I'm thankful for every amazing and beautiful soul that continues to cross my path. But most importantly, I'm also grateful. Now, of course, without my family is a given, but I'm really grateful for the people that trust me to help them with their healing.
Nice.
That's nice. Anyone who's watching this live or on a recording later on, tell us what you're thankful for, and really get yourself, just like what Stuart's been talking about on the show today, get intentional. If you thought, I didn't really think about that. Well, now you get a chance to start thinking about what you can be grateful for. You've heard about gratitude journals. This is just ways of training your brain to get yourself to a place where you can start saying, you know what, I'm actually really glad for this mug. This mug makes me so happy. I love the design of this mug and this pen. What would I have done if I did not have this pen? It helps me write. You know, there's all sorts of things that we could be grateful for.
Like my cup. It's a beautiful cup. It is a beautiful, beautiful cup. I keep my little tools in there. And when I change my guitar strings, and I think about you all the time. And it is
very
beautiful.
special to me. That means so much. Thank you so much. Aw, Stuart.
Thank you so much for joining us today. We are really grateful and thankful for you, for being here, for sharing, for singing, for your wisdom, for everything that you do, for always bringing a smile in people's faces. So
I
have so much love for you, Stuart.
Thank you. Anita, it's just mutual. It's mutual. You guys are terrific. I'm so happy we came into each other's lives.
Absolutely.
We're so glad. And we're going to have you back again when the new year comes along. We've got new songs to sing, new things to do, new things to know. I'm going to memorize that song that you have. I can't wait to sing it. The song about things. I'm going to learn that.
Take it easy.
Thanks. Have a happy, healthy Thanksgiving.
You too. Bye, Stuart. Thank you.
Mwah. Goodbye.
Mwah.
Mwah.
I love Stuart. He's still there. He just heard me say it. I do. I love Stuart.
For whatever way the system was giving us some little technical issues, but we'll be right back, everyone.
The music makes me want to just dance and dance. I just want to keep going with music. Yeah, that really is a great little promo you have there.
Yes.
You should talk. You know what? You should really take this moment to talk a little bit about this incredible, not just the commercial, but what you are saying in there. Dolly Cortez, go to town, spotlight your dang self, and let's go.
I will do that. I would do that. So everyone, I just showed you there a small commercial which is actually introducing the 7-week online course that I am going to be presenting to you very soon. It is going to be available very soon. Anita actually helped me, which I am so grateful to her for putting that promo together. This course means the world to me. It's really about writing to heal. With Rose Gold Publishing, I help individuals write to heal from their past traumatic experiences so their voices can be heard. And what I found is that there's just so much pain in this world that we really, truly need to target. We need to focus on, and we need to reverse. We need to reverse that. We need to heal that. We need to eradicate that and actually turn it into happiness. So I am putting this course together, 7 different modules, and it could be a 7-week course for you. You could actually do it in your own pace. You're not required to finish it in 7 weeks, but the intention is to actually help you dig deep inside, and for you to find yourself again, to find your joy again, to be able to learn to forgive and actually share what you're grateful for. It is something that I am very proud of. Like I said, it is going to be available very soon. If you go on the site, I'm going to put it here right now. It's dollycortez.podia.com. You'll be able to sign up so that you can be informed immediately once the course becomes available. It is, again, it's about writing to heal so your voice can be heard. And it does not mean that because you get this course, you will be publishing your book or your story. That's not what this is about. This is all about healing. That's the focus. That's the intention. And if you want to eventually share your story and become a published author, of course, with Rose Gold Publishing, we are here for you. So with that being said, I am just so grateful. I'm grateful for Anita helping me with that promo. I am grateful for the opportunity and the trust that many of you, many of my clients, many of the amazing people that continue to cross my path have given me, because it really is an honor for me to work with you.
That's great. That's great. I'm really glad that you were able to share that. And, just to kind of add more to what she talks about when we look at writing, because I think that, coming from my end, I knew that anytime I wrote, I just wanted to write from my heart to yours. So I didn't really want to write with my brain to yours, because my brain had too many things and I didn't even know what I was going to say. But when I speak with my heart, it's just kind of a direct line of how I feel, so that you can catch how I feel, and maybe you can feel the same way too, or feel inspired, or something that's positive. And so I know that when you hear someone like Dolly show up and you see, oh, here's Anita, she's doing another book, and I would like to write another book, you start thinking about, oh, I've got stories I want to share. But you just don't know where to begin. And even sometimes, well, a lot of times, people have stories to share that are really negative. They have some really hard moments that is difficult to just start typing it out. It doesn't all just flow out. Some of the things that I've written that are not in the book, just things I've written, took time to think about, what is it I want to say? When am I ready to feel like it's okay to do it? Well, what she's doing is she's giving you a chance. This is not even about, like she said, not even about being an author. If you have those stuck moments and you really don't know where to begin with your writing, this is the kind of course you want, because now you can start, like, where do I begin? Begin there. This is kind of like you're on a local road and she takes you on that 25-mile-an-hour ramp just to kind of get around. So you can start addressing these issues that happen in your life that you've lodged somewhere in your heart, that really becomes like almost like an energetic block that doesn't allow you to live freely and feel free. So when you can just kind of go through those experiences with someone who is capable of helping you through it, then you're going to be able to get past so much and grow in your power and grow in your abilities. And I know even for me, I've done my own work. I've gone through a lot of different educational processes within myself and in actual, school and university, whatever. All those things I've done. But even still, at the time that I started writing the book that I did, she told me to write stuff down, and I didn't even know where I was going to start. And I kind of really wish that had I had this course available, I'd have taken it first. This is like the place that you want to go first, to start letting your heart just be more transparent and look at the ugly things you don't want to look at, so you can get through it. And then you'll grow. And it's just the best feeling in the world. I can guarantee you.
Well, thank you, Anita, for everything that you do. I am absolutely grateful for you. I sincerely appreciate it. And from the bottom of my heart, to you and to all of our listeners and viewers, I wish you all a happy Thanksgiving, and may you be safe during this holiday season.
Happy Thanksgiving to you all, and we'll see you all soon.